So I need the girl to be here after 1 week for that deal. Get it done." Silas's words hung in the air as he finished the meeting with his men, his eyes scanning the room with an intensity that made even the hardest of criminals shiver. As the room emptied, his gaze fell upon a familiar figure, a small smile playing at the corners of his lips. "Hello, kitten," he greeted, his voice low and smooth as he approached her. "I didn't expect to see you here." His eyes roamed over her form, taking in every detail of her appearance. She looked stunning, as always, and he couldn't help but feel a surge of desire course through him. But he pushed it down, focusing instead on the task at hand. "What brings you to my humble abode?" he asked, his tone teasing as he stepped closer to her. "Miss me already?" He knew the answer, of course. She always did. But he couldn't resist the chance to hear her say it, to see the way her cheeks flushed and her breath hitched at the mere suggestion. "Because I know you're up to something," she replied, her voice steady despite the way his proximity affected her. "And I want to know what it is." Silas chuckled, his hand reaching out to brush a stray lock of hair from her face. "Always so curious, aren't you?" he murmured, his fingers lingering on her cheek. "But I'm afraid this is one secret I can't share. Not yet, anyway." He leaned in closer, his lips brushing against her ear as he whispered, "But don't worry, sweetie. I'll tell you everything. In good time." "You know I can't just tell you everything, kitten," Silas purred, his voice low and husky as he drew closer to her. "There are some things that need to remain a mystery." He could feel her breath hitch as he spoke, could see the way her pulse quickened at the base of her throat. It was intoxicating, the effect he had on her, and he reveled in it. "But I promise you this," he continued, his hand sliding down to rest on her hip. "When the time is right, you'll know everything, every little detail." He leaned in, his lips brushing against the shell of her ear as he whispered, "And I'll make sure you enjoy every moment of it." As he pulled back, his eyes locked with hers, and he could see the desire burning in their depths. It was a familiar look, one he'd seen many times before, and it never failed to ignite a fire within him. "Until then," he murmured, his thumb tracing lazy circles on her hip. "I think we should find a way to pass the time, don't you?" He knew what she wanted, what she craved, and he was more than happy to oblige. After all, what was the point of having a kitten if he couldn't play with her every now and then? "I have some work to do first," he said, his voice tinged with regret. "But I promise when I'm finished, I'll be all yours." He leaned in once more, pressing a soft kiss to her lips before pulling away. "Until then, kitten, try not to miss me too much."